Although I know to some people it's like, oh wow, how, she retired, but venture capital fund that invests in companies founded by women and people of color, ownership of the Toronto Temp, being included in the WNBA expansion team, and of course her tennis legacy still lives on. So yeah, it was really nice seeing something from her. I think I'm enjoying the fact that we still mention her name and we still see her
even though it's been,
about.
2 years?
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't think it would be the case. I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely thought she will be more like behind the scenes,
Just evolve and then dip, literally. Completely.
Exactly. But even as a woman, I think it's inspiring seeing that although she stepped out to like build her family, she's still doing things on the side.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times as a woman you're thinking, oh, you probably can't do both, but she's basically showing you can. So
it's funny because I actually read the article, fairly recently actually, because I saw there were a lot of quotes because she was talking about Jannik Sinner, basically saying that like if that was her, it was very tongue in cheek though. Like I don't think she was being completely like serious. Like that's how I read it anyway, and also too, like it was also like a very small part of the interview. So it was like at the end, near the end, is where it basically those words came, and I was like, that's also quite interesting and significant as well, because when the news broke anyway, it was like, oh my god, like Serena said this about Jannik Sinner, and then like I said, when I actually sat down and read the full article, I was like, okay, it's not actually that bad. Like,
but I think people also wanted to make sure that it didn't come out as bad, which is why they also pulled out a quote when she said, "I'm not trying to like."
Yeah. She kind of prefaced it.
She's like, listen, I like him. She literally went as far as said tennis needs him. Listen, first of all, Jannik Sinner, I'm sorry, he's that guy at the moment, because how can you get praised by the greatest of all times while you're sitting down on a ban right now? You can't play for like, another month. Do you get what I mean?
And
so
he
that's
still returns as the world number one. It's pretty bossy.
But she's complete. Everything that she said anyways was true, and we said it when when the ban was announced. Literally, I said it.
She said she would have ended up in jail. She said,
ended up in jail.
She laughed.
Yeah. Obviously, she said it as a joke, but the one thing that she said that I think would have definitely been true is that her grandson would have been snatched away. I think that would have
interesting.
Been I think, like, let's say for example.
So you don't think she would have been protected like by the WTA in terms of like Serena Williams, man? Also, I think you also have to. This is all hypothetical, isn't it? Because obviously it never happened, thank God.
Yeah.
But like, surely it would depend on like where she was in her career. Like if this was Serena 10+ Grand Slams, I don't think it would have been. Do you understand? I'm just so glad this never happened in real life.
Yet
but
we've seen Serena with 20 Grand Slams still being disrespected, still not being protected. Remember how she said that she was getting tested like crazy.
Yeah. That's
they
true.
were trying to catch her. So that is why she even said in the article herself, I was extremely mindful and careful because I knew what could happen.
Yeah. What did you make of her line when she said, like she feels for Maria Sharapova?
I was kind of surprised. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of surprised. But remember I told you, I think I said this when they posted a picture at the Met Gala and people were like, like they're actually like friends. I'm like, listen, after like so many years, like they're both moms now, like that was only on call. And they were young, they were competitive. They probably don't even see each other today. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, for all we know.
Yeah.
But I was surprised. But at the same time, I think she made that comment more towards the fact, like, look how they would treat men tennis players.
Exactly, male, female.
And women tennis players. I think that was more of that because Sharapova's case was a bit... respectfully in it. Do you get what I mean?
Although
but yeah.
it was found that it was through no fault of her own in terms of how the substance got into her system.
Which another reason why
but
Serena probably mentioned her name.
But she did get a longer ban as well, which is a bit weird.
This is what exactly.
But no, it's a good point you make. Like, I think, there's just a lot of kind of things you can kind of take away from it. But at the same time, I don't think it needs to be looked into like that deeply, if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
With the Serena... in terms of the comments on Sinner.
I think, but she's the GOAT.
No, of course. And
you
she's
get what I mean?
tennis,
And also, this is like, it is crazy that we have a number one player not playing right now. Like, do you get what I mean?
He's back within a couple of weeks, but
but I personally, I like it when Serena's making comments about tennis. Like, don't get me wrong, I love everything else that she's doing, from her beauty brand to helping.
Yeah, it shows that she's like tapped in.
Exactly.
No, definitely.
Especially after all the talk that people were doing about how, like, oh yeah, she doesn't support, go watch like the women's tennis and blah blah blah. And she literally went to basically back one of her biggest, well, quote unquote, rivalry, when really isn't. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, she's, at the end of the day, whatever she said, even obviously she was saying most of it as a joke, is facts.
Yeah.
I think if it was her sister, or a woman player who did not look like them in terms of race, would have been completely different, because you have Iga as well. It was way easier on her. But I see why she said that, because throughout her career, they were always trying to find a way to come and stop her and catch her every single time. So anyone that says she's exaggerating, she's definitely not. Obviously, the gel thing, okay, yeah, but that was obviously she said that as a joke, yeah. But I genuinely do believe they would have snatched at least some of her slams. So probably the slams that she won during that period or right before, I think they would have done something, 100%.
It's also, just quickly as well, Sharapova, in the timepiece, it said, when her name was mentioned anyway, they put in brackets, Sharapova declined to comment. So it's like, they maybe asked her, like, oh, like, do you have any views on Sinner? And she said, oh, yeah, probably, you know what, I'm not going to go there. Like,
I don't blame her. And
I want to say that they have a relationship as well, as in her and Sinner. Because I've seen her in, was it Monte Carlo? They were pictured together anyway, somewhere, which is after she retired.
Right.
And yeah, there was talk about them being, there's like basically some kind of relationship there. I don't know if they share like maybe the same agent or...
I think she probably declined because of the fact that that's probably one of the... Not even probably. That's the worst part of her career. So I think is more like, I don't want to bring this
low period.
To light again. Even when Sinner was going through this, he didn't really want to speak about it. Same as Iga. I don't think people even bothered Iga that much, to be honest, which to me was crazy.
Interesting.
So yeah, but it is what it is. Listen, at the end of the day, Sinner won. He actually won. The GOAT feels sorry for him, and the GOAT said, men tennis needs it. Once Serena Williams tells me that, no one can tell me anything.